So, for those tuning in and wondering what's the go with these practice sessions, well, it ain't just about flexing their engines. It's about synergy, mate. Getting the driver, the car, and the track to sing in harmony.
Couldn't have put it better. We liken it to rehearsing a dance. Every step, every turn must be practiced until it's second nature on the big stage.
Sunwheeler posted 3:38.432 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Eddie G is out there, taking it slow and steady on the outlap. This lap is like the calm before the storm, a moment of zen before pushing the limits.
That's right. It's about understanding the track's personality today a Euro. Each day, each lap can tell a different story, especially at a track like Mosport 2021.
With just 13 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. And there's Eddie G, easing out onto Mosport 2021. It's like the first step on a long hike, finding your footing before you hit full stride.
Right, and every racer knows this outlap is precious. It's their first handshake with the track today, feeling out its mood and temperament.
Sunwheeler crosses the line with their first flyer, clocking a 1:29.489. They're getting to grips with Mosport 2021, feeling out its quirks and corners.
It's like the first round of a chess match, Rob. They're making their opening moves, setting up for the later, faster laps where they'll really show their hand. There's Eddie G, gently nudging the beast as they head out. The outlap is where you whisper to the car, "Let's dance," before the real party starts. You got that right. It's a gentle waltz before the full-on rock concert of the race. They're testing the waters, getting a feel for every bend and straight of Mosport 2021.
Mate, sometimes I reckon the pit wall looks like they're controlling a spaceship with all those dials and knobs.
You're not wrong. Each of those adjustments, from brake bias to differential settings, has a profound effect on car behavior. It's like tuning a guitar, but instead of strings, you're tweaking mechanical symphonies to get the car singing just right on the track.
Let's talk rubber. Tire pressures ain't just about pumping them up and hitting the road. It's like a fine art.
Couldn't have said it better.
Tire pressures can dramatically impact the contact patch, the actual bit of tire touching the tarmac. Too high and you lose temperature and grip, too low, and you risk overheating, uneven wear or even a blowout. Each tire will have its own sweet spot where they grip best.
Smells Like We is on the outlap, not just warming up the tyres, but also warming up their instincts, getting that racer's intuition dialed in.
True that, they're getting the feel of the track, the car, the conditions. It's all about setting the stage for what's to come.
Sunwheeler's first serious lap is in the books with a time of 1:22.969. Good effort, but I'm expecting them to really push the envelope in the next few laps.
Yeah, it's about building that momentum, Rob. Fine-tuning their approach with each turn, each lap, getting more out of the car and themselves.
And off goes Smells Like We, easing into the rhythm of Mosport 2021. This lap is like the first sip of your morning coffee, waking up the senses, priming the engines.
Yeah, it's about syncing up with the machine, getting that perfect harmony between driver and car. It's like a prelude to a symphony that's about to unfold on the track.
Sunwheeler has a best lap time of 1:22.969. There's the first flying lap for Eddie G, hitting 1:25.849. It's a start, but they'll be looking to iron out those kinks as they get more laps under their belt.
Right on, Rob. It's early in the session, so there's plenty of time to experiment and find those extra tenths of a second.
There's no mucking around for Smells Like We Euro, straight down to business on this first flyer. They'll be keen to see what times they can clock in early on.
Yeah, and it's not just about speed. It's about rhythm, finding that flow around Mosport 2021. Getting into that groove early can set the pace for the whole session.
You know, mate, some folks wonder why these drivers spend so much time in practice. But it's just like prepping a barbie, you gotta get it right before the big show.
Exactly. Rob, practice makes perfect, and in racing, perfect can be the difference between pole position and the back of the grid.
In these sessions, they're not just pushing the car's limits, but their own too. Testing their mettle, seeing how far they can go before the big dance.
Exactly. It's a mental game as much as a physical one. Balancing aggression with precision, daring with data. It's an art and a science.
Sunoiler's first flyer is a solid start, clocking in at 1:23.489. They're getting a feel for the track, but there's room to shave off a few more seconds.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about finding those little tweaks, adjusting the line here, braking a tad later there. Every lap is a learning curve.
Alright, Eddie G has put down a 1:25.977. It's a decent benchmark, but I reckon there's more juice to squeeze out of that Radical State Route 3.
For sure, Rob. It's early days. They're just starting to sync up with the track. We'll likely see those times tumble as they dial in.
Sunoiler posted a 1:24.035 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Smells Like Weed crosses the line with their first flyer, clocking a 1:25.363. They're getting to grips with Mosport 2021, feeling out its quirks and corners.
It's like the first round of a chess match, Rob. They're making their opening moves, setting up for the later, faster laps where they'll really show their hand.
Sunoiler has a best lap time of 1:22.969. Smells Like Weed's first serious lap is in the books with a time of 1:28.548. Good effort, but I'm expecting them to really push the envelope in the next few laps.
Yeah, it's about building that momentum, Rob. Fine-tuning their approach with each turn, each lap, getting more out of the car and themselves.
Sunoiler posted 1:24.706 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Smells Like Weed has a best lap time of 1:22.430. Alright, Eddie G has put down a 1:23.361. It's a decent benchmark, but I reckon there's more juice to squeeze out of that Radical State Route 3.
For sure, Rob, it's early days. They're just starting to sync up with the track. We'll likely see those times tumble as they dial in.
There's the first flying lap for Smells Like Weed, hitting 1:28.190. It's a start, but they'll be looking to iron out those kinks as they get more laps under their belt.
Right on, Rob. It's early in the session, so there's plenty of time to experiment and find those extra tenths of a second.
Eddie G posted a 1:24.473 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? With just 1 minute left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. It's a very still day here at Mosport 2021, as we're getting ready to kick things off.
The tension's building now. This is going to be another great race.
Starting from pole position is the perfect place for Smells Like Weed to launch an attack. Sunoiler has qualified second. Watch out for Eddie G, starting from the third grid position in today's race. story has begun, full throttle ahead. This initial stanza is a quintessential blend of poise and aggression as drivers etch their narrative.
With hearts racing and engines roaring, they've got to be smarter than the average bear to navigate this here minefield.
All the drivers will be trying to take advantage of the pack whilst they're still bunched up.
No rush, no fuss for smells like we. In the South, we appreciate taking a moment to breathe, and that's just what they're doing at one. We'll see how things spice up.
Having started in 2, Sunoiler will be looking to establish themselves in this race.
It all comes down to this ride, where the rubber meets the road. There's no more time for talk, no more practice. The teams have done all they can. Now it comes down to Sunoiler to bring it home.
Well, ain't that a slice of vanilla? Sunoiler's sitting pretty right where they started, comfy as a koala in a eucalyptus tree. This is going to be one hell of a race, I can already feel it. Things are looking as crook as Rookwood for smells like we, lagging behind Sunoiler and the gap stretching out like a long country road. They'll need to find some extra grunt to flip this situation. It's a brilliant day for racing, and the drivers are putting on a show.
Absolutely. What a great race we are witnessing today. These drivers are giving it their all, and it's a thrill to watch them compete at this level.
They're really pushing themselves and their machines to the limit, and it's paying off with some incredible driving.
It's a pleasure to be here today, Rob. You really can't beat the excitement of a good race, especially one as competitive as this.
Why did the race car go to school? To improve its track record.
And I thought it was to accelerate its learning. Well, butter my biscuit, the race ain't over till that flag waves. Got to keep those wheels rolling and eyes on the prize till the very end.
Blimey, Sunoiler's determination reminds me of a kangaroo in a hopping contest.
Well, over here in the States, it's more like a squirrel chasing down its last nut before winter. Either way, it's entertaining to watch. Now, ain't that something? Sunoiler's car is humming like a sweet Carolina tune. He's looking to take Eddie G for a spin around the dance floor at Mosport 2021.
It's a solid performance from Smells Like We at the moment. They're holding their position and not getting too caught up in battles around them.
Exactly, it's like playing chess at 200 miles per hour. Smells Like We is thinking several moves ahead, and it might just pay off.
The chase music's playing in Sunoiler's head as they reel in Eddie G, moment by nail-biting moment.
The gap between them is now just over 0.4 seconds. Who will come out on top?
Mate, Sunoiler's creeping up on Eddie G like a dingo on a picnic. Must have tweaked that brake bias a touch to the rear.
Well, butter my butt and call me a biscuit. Sunoiler's using that draft from Eddie G real effectively, shaving off tenths every lap.
It's like a Barbie in summer. Eddie G is the snag sizzling on the grill, and Sunoiler? The hungry mate waiting for a bite. It's a battle of wills out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other. Well, crikey, Sunoiler's taken a detour, just like I did when I tried to change my car's oil. Ended up with a flooded garage. It's like watching a cheetah chase its prey. Sunoiler's got Eddie G in their crosshairs.
Y'all ever been to a Carolina hoedown? Cuz Sunoiler's dancing with that car, looking to waltz right past Eddie G.
Oi, Sunoiler, if you wanted a tour of Eddie's rear bumper, you've got a front row seat. Better make your move before the show's over.
Look at those tires on Eddie's car. They're gripping the asphalt like an eagle on a trout. Sunoiler's got their work cut out for them.
Sunoiler wants to find a way around Eddie G. been working the tire temps, and it's paying off. Sorry to cut in here. Looks like that's a mistake from Smells Like Wee. This could be costly. Oh mate, Smells Like Wee's more out of place than a vegan at a Bunnings sausage sizzle. Time to throw another gear on the Barbie. As the laps wind down, the hunt intensifies. Eddie G is lurking, ready to unleash an overtaking masterclass on Sunweller. Oi, someone tell Eddie G this isn't a Sunday Arvo drive to the bottle O. Sunweller's making him look a bit slow out of the gate. A couple car lengths might not sound like much, but when you've got Eddie G breathing down your neck, it feels like a bloody eternity.
Now, if you notice, Sunweller's shifting that weight balance just right, cutting off the corners, making it a tight squeeze for Eddie G.
Sunweller's ripping it up out there, going harder than a roux on a trampoline and leaving Eddie G in their wake.
Agreed, Rob, superb driving there. If they keep this up, this race should be a real thrill ride.
Remember when Eddie G was on the pace? Neither do I kinda like my recollection of last Friday night.
Well, slap my grandma and call me Sally. Eddie's got more distance to cover than my cousin Cletus has teeth. But if anyone can bridge that gap, it's Eddie G.
The gap between Eddie G and Sunweller is widening. It's now up to 1.7 seconds. You can feel the tension in the air.
The drivers are all focused, putting everything on the line for a chance at victory, pushing themselves and their machines to the limit.
And let's not forget about the incredible machines themselves.
Absolutely. It's amazing to think about the kind of engineering and innovation that goes into making these vehicles. But it all comes down to the drivers, who have to be able to handle the power and speed. It's going to be thrilling seeing how this race turns out.
The gap between Sunweller and Eddie G is pretty substantial right now. It's probably going to take a mistake from Sunweller to even allow Eddie G to get a look in. Everyone's on the edge of their seats. Or in my case, on the edge of spilling my coffee. Smells Like Wee is getting closer to Eddie G, and I'm getting closer to needing a towel.
Yeehaw. It's like Smells Like Wee took a detour through the drive-thru. With a gap that big, I hope they ordered extra determination with a side of grit.
At this stage of the race, Sunweller is holding on to first. Anything can happen from here.
You nailed it. The track is a battleground, and Sunweller's position is their fortress. Let's see how long they hold the fort.
Sunweller is really belting along the track, leaving Eddie G struggling to keep pace.
That's right, Rob. If Eddie G doesn't pick up the pace, they might as well be moving at a snail's pace.
The crowd is on tenterhooks as Eddie G in second chases after Sunweller. The gap is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Can Eddie G find a way to catch up? It's starting to look like we might get a battle between Eddie G and Sunweller. The battle is on for Smells Like Wee. They're sandwiched between two rivals, 0.1 seconds away and Eddie G 0.2 seconds ahead. It's a true test of their racecraft. As we enjoy seeing these titans of the track battle it out, let's not forget about the pit crews. Those guys and girls are like a well-oiled machine themselves.
Absolutely. They're the unsung heroes of the racing world. But you know what they say, behind every great driver is an even greater pit crew.
Tell ya what, Eddie's defending harder than a roux with the last Tim Tam. Smells Like Wee's gonna have to pull something special out of the bag. Eddie's turned up the heat and put some shrimp between them and smells like wee, making a fair dinkum gap. The tension is building and smells like wee trails behind Eddie G. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing and the pressure is mounting. Can Eddie G hold on, or will smells like wee be able to close them down? Eddie's in an exciting position at second. They've been maintaining pace for a few laps now, and with the leader just within a whisper's distance, things are heating up.
Absolutely. I think you would say it's tighter than a kangaroo with a sleeping bag up there. But yet every little decision now is crucial. One slip from the leader and our champ in second might just steal that top spot.
If Eddie G doesn't pick up the pace, how, they'll be as relevant as an ashtray on a motorbike. Well, ain't this a ding-dong battle? Sunoiler is putting up the barriers like I do when my mates want to borrow the ute. No way through, Eddie G.
Sunoiler is doing a great job of defending in the lead, and Eddie G is pushing hard to close the gap. It's an exciting race and it's not over yet.
Crikey, Sunoiler's looking like they've been caught in a rip, struggling to keep up with the pace set by Eddie G. Hope they find their feet soon. Stone the Crows. Eddie's in second, but if I know them, Sunoiler's gonna cop an Aussie-style sneak attack real soon.
Well, butter my biscuit. With a gap just shy of a second, Eddie's car is dialed in. He's looking to reel Sunoiler in on the straights of Mosport 2021.
Eddie G seems to be losing the plot with Sunoiler. They'll need to buck up their ideas as they dive into Mario Andretti straightaway and aim for a ripper exit to gain some ground. The gap between Sunoiler and Eddie G is not insurmountable, but it's going to take a mistake from Sunoiler to bring Eddie G into play.
I've seen kangaroos that close the gap quicker in the bush than Eddie G is doing now. They've got their work cut out for them.
He's pulling away. Sunoiler is increasing the gap to Eddie G. It looks like Eddie G needs to dig deep and find some courage to catch up. Will they be able to take the risk and push their car to the limit?
That's right, Rob. It's time for Eddie G to show us what they're made of. Will they be brave enough to go for it, or will they be content with just following in the footsteps of Sunoiler? Let's see who's got the guts to take the lead.
In a race where seconds count, Eddie G is counting on less of them between themselves and Sunoiler. Much like I'm counting on less seconds until lunchtime. You ever miss the roar of engines, Hal?
Every single day, Rob. But we've got the next best thing, dissecting every nuance of these races and sharing our digital wisdom with the world.
The gap between Sunoiler and Eddie G may be wide, but that doesn't mean Sunoiler is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance.
Well, in the rearview mirror of life, Eddie G might look closer than they appear. But on this track, they've got some miles to cover to catch Sunoiler.
Sunoiler is giving a masterclass out there, but will overconfidence be their downfall?
Indeed, Rob. Pride comes before a fall. Let's see if Eddie G can capitalize on any mistake. It's really looking like Sunoiler is going to be tough to pass today. They're driving with real confidence and authority.
The stretch ahead of Eddie G is more baffling than a kangaroo's logic in a trivia contest. They'll need both wit and whimsy to chart a course through.
Looks like trying to square dance on a slick floor, but there's rhythm yet to be found. Like the whispered legends told by the Smoky Mountains, this race still holds secrets. Every bend, every stretch could change the tale for Eddie G.
Sunoiler is placed first at the moment. Sunoiler's lead over Eddie G is shrinking quicker than a cheap shirt in a hot wash. We're down to 3.4 seconds.
Will Sunoiler keep Eddie G in the rear view? Only time will tell.
It looks like Eddie G is pushing hard to catch up to Sunoiler. The gap is over a second, but Eddie G is not giving up just yet. Can they close the distance and make a move on Sunoiler? The track is alive with action, and right in the thick of it, we've got Sunoiler cruising in first. Impressive driving from Sunoiler, who has managed to extend their lead over Eddie G. They are walking away at this point. Does Eddie G have anything in reserve? As a former racing driver, how challenging was it to adapt your driving style to account for tire degradation throughout a race?
It was a constant challenge, Rob. Tire degradation can change the car's balance and handling, so drivers need to be versatile and adaptable. It requires continuous adjustments to driving techniques and a keen understanding of the car's behavior.
In a world where milliseconds matter, Sunoiler's grasp on the first speaks volumes. Well, it doesn't look like Smells Like We is going to be much of a threat to anyone soon, let alone Eddie G. Truth, Smells Like We's chances are looking thinner than a roux on a diet. Only way forward might be a bit of razzle-dazzle or a slip up ahead.
Well, every dog has its day, and this race ain't over till it's over. It's not over till the checkered flag drops though, and it's important they don't lose concentration at this point.
The race has its rhythm, and right now, Sunoiler is dancing to its beat at first.
It's a dance, Rob. The way Sunoiler holds onto that first, it's like they're leading in a tango. Sunoiler's driving like they've stolen, putting some serious distance between themselves and Eddie G. Is there anything left in Eddie's tank? That's exactly what Sunoiler needed to do.
You know, Hal, it's been a relatively quiet race so far.
That's right, Rob. The drivers seem to be pacing themselves and waiting for the right moment to make their move. It's like watching a slow dance.
Sunoiler isn't just racing, they're weaving a narrative, sitting proudly in first. We've seen overtakes, close calls, and pure racing genius today. Currently, Eddie G has carved out a spot at second.
They're not just driving, they're performing. And right now, Eddie's act from second is worth an encore.
Crikey, Eddie's flat out like a lizard drinking, pulling away from Smells Like We with quite a clip.
Darn tootin', Rob, Eddie G is looking as smooth as a gravy sandwich out there. They're making it a tough day at the office for Smells Like We.
Smells Like We has a mountain to climb at the moment to close that gap with Eddie G. I expect their only hope at this point is that Eddie G makes an error.
Looky here, I've seen some wild turns in my time, and just when you think it's all said and done, old Lady Luck might just wink your way. So don't count out Smells Like We just yet.
Smells Like Wee is pushing hard and has reduced the gap to Eddie G to 5.3 seconds.
Holy smokes, Smells Like Wee's extracting every ounce of horsepower from that power unit. They're tailing Eddie G tighter than a belt after Thanksgiving dinner.
Sunoiler is on fire in the last sector.
You got this, keep your cool.
And it's a checkered flag for Sunoiler, who crosses the finish line with a commanding victory. What a phenomenal performance, absolutely dominant today. Some might say that second place is the first loser, but Eddie G certainly doesn't see it that way. They put in a phenomenal effort and should be proud of their impressive result.
Brilliant, Eddie G showed great skill and determination to take second place.
Impressive drive from Smells Like Wee to claim the final spot on the podium.
Fantastic result.
There's a little bit of wind in the air today here at Mosport 2021 as we're getting ready to kick things off. Smells like we will have the best seat in the house starting from pole position.
They'll be excited at their prospects for this race.
Just like that, the race has started. Now, we'll see who has the skill and nerve to outmaneuver their rivals.
This is where the driver's true abilities will be put to the test. Staying calm and collected while pushing for the lead is the ultimate challenge.
I think passing is going to be difficult today here at Mosport 2021, so it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers get on.
A good old-fashioned southern standoff, that's what Smells Like We's doing. Holding their ground, and sometimes that's the best strategy in the early laps.
As we watch the drivers fight it out in the first lap, I can already feel that this is going to be an epic race.
What a beautiful day for racing here at Mosport 2021. This is going to be good to watch.
These early salvos will shape the outcome of this race. The drivers are jockeying for position. Sunoiler will be looking to get off to a good start and consolidate their position.
Like we say in North Carolina, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Maybe Sunoiler is keeping their pace steady for now, waiting for the right time to make a splash.
Anyone who says that Assetto Corsa Friends is not the best racing club on the planet is clearly insane. The quality of driving we're seeing out there on the track is absolutely phenomenal.
I couldn't agree more. It's like these drivers were born to race. They're weaving in and out of traffic, taking corners at unbelievable speeds, and making it all look effortless. It's clear that they've put in the time and effort to hone their skills.
Tell ya what, Eddie's trailing harder than my belt after Christmas dinner. Reckon he's got a plan up his sleeve, or is he just here for the sausage sizzle?
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Eddie G in third determined to catch up. But we know Sunoiler isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate. Eddie G is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
By the looks of it, Sunoiler in second is keen to throw another shrimp on the barbie and crank up the heat on Smells Like We. Hold on to your stubbies. Tire degradations are right pain in the arse, but Sunoiler's handling it like a champ. Getting real up close and personal with Smells Like We, aren't they?
Sunoiler's suspension setups really letting them carry speed into the apex, catching up to Smells Like We like molasses in winter.
Someone should tell Smells Like Wee this ain't a Sunday drive. Sunoiler's tearing up the track. It's hotter out there than an Aussie summer day, mate. Reckon Eddie G can catch some shade behind Smells Like Wee? F.
Shade? Here, we call that drafting. Let's see if they can stay cool and make a move. If not, there's always the AC in the pit.
Looks like Smells Like Wee is legging it from Eddie G. The gap's growing like a well-watered wattle as they zoom through Moss Corner. It looks like Smells Like Wee is in control. They're ahead of Eddie G by over a second, and it doesn't look like they're going to be challenged anytime soon.
Eddie G is hunting, but Smells Like Wee's making that car wide, really wide. It's a tactical masterclass out there.
A commanding performance from Smells Like Wee, who has increased their lead over Eddie G, putting them firmly in their rearview mirrors. But could they be pushing too hard? As with that comes the risk of overconfidence and losing control. Hold up a mo. Oh mate, Sunoiler's impersonating a lost tourist. Did someone forget to tell them it's a race, not a bushwalk?
Seems like Sunoiler's off-roading it. You know, like my attempts to adult. All over the place.
Ladies and gents, we've got ourselves a high-speed pursuit. Eddie G is stalking Smells Like Wee's every move. We've got an edge-of-your-seat battle between Smells Like Wee in second and Eddie G in three, with just 0.1 seconds between them. Smells Like Wee has just dropped the ball. Eddie G didn't waste any time taking advantage of that.
It's a good old southern cook-off. Eddie's serving up some spicy moves while Smells Like Wee's still marinating. Let's hope they bring the heat soon.
You know, it's like watching a Kelpie herd sheep. Eddie's making sure Smells Like Wee stays right where they want them. No room for a sneaky pass here. Looking at the lap times, Smells Like Wee is not on pace with Eddie G. Can they turn it around?
I reckon Smells Like Wee's fiddling while Rome burns. Eddie's out there shaking and baking, putting on a show for us.
The excitement is palpable. This is going to be a race for the ages.
The drivers are executing their strategies to perfection, making the most of every opportunity. This is what top-level racing is all about.
Oh, this is getting intense. Smells Like Wee is just a few car lengths behind Eddie G. From where we're sitting, Sunoiler seems unmovable from that first. It seems like Sunoiler is pushing. They are on for recording their best lap so far this race.
Can Sunoiler keep it together?
I tell you, mate, the tech in these cars would outshine any gizmo you'd find in a Sydney cafe.
As long as it doesn't make my morning coffee, I'm good. But yeah, the tech here is like something out of Silicon Valley.
If Smells Like Wee goes any slower, they'll join me in my failed dreams collection. Front row seats available.
Sweet mercy. Smells Like Wee's lagging like my grandma's old computer. Might be time to reboot, or at least pour some coffee into the gas tank.
Some say it's about the journey, not the destination. but Eddie G seems pretty intent on that second spot. Well, butter my biscuit. Eddie G is no slouch, mate. That lap time's gonna give Smells Like Wee some grey hairs.
Whoa, Nelly, Eddie's laying down some naughty numbers. Smells like wee. You need a cold shower after that?
The echo of the exhausts, the rubber meeting road, and there's Sunoiler commanding the first. Eddie G is making ground on Sunoiler quicker than a roux in a paddock. Now, the gap's just 6.6 seconds.
Eddie G is hot on Sunoiler's trail like a Carolina Reaper. This is shaping up to be a nail-biter, folks.
It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Smells Like Wee trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Eddie G. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. Can Smells Like Wee close in enough to mount a challenge? Stone the crows. Smells Like Wee's managed to trim that gap with Eddie G, eh? Must be the slipstream effect on this straight. Or maybe they've put down the beard.
Lukey here. Smells Like Wee's got the optimal differential settings, allowing for tighter corner exits. It's like watching a cat chase a laser pointer when they chase Eddie G.
Even though Smells Like Wee is a fair way behind Eddie G, they can't afford to let their guard down. Eddie G is still vulnerable to mistakes. Eddie G couldn't hold back the tide. Smells Like Wee is shaving off seconds like a barber on a busy morning.
Eddie's in a real pickle here. They've got to find the extra pace to hold off Smells Like Wee if they're aiming to be the top dog here.
Looks like Smells Like Wee is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curves aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curve can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about finding the right balance between speed and control.
Ripper of a move. Smells Like Wee's not just in the race. They're owning it. G'day, second.
You can't argue with results like that. Smells Like Wee is really making their mark on this race.
There's a storm brewing, and it's got Eddie's name on it. Smells Like Wee, batten down the hatches. It's coming for you.
It's hotter than a jalapeno out here. If Eddie G gets any closer to Smells Like Wee, we're gonna need to put this stream on OnlyFans.
In the midst of this high-octane spectacle, Sunoiler's skill is shining through as they claim first. Smells Like Wee's gaining on Sunoiler faster than a rattlesnake on a mouse. The gap's now down to 15.1 seconds.
Sunoiler's gotta turn on the afterburners if they want to keep Smells Like Wee in check.
Would ya look at that gap? Eddie's got a better chance of finding a sober Aussie on Australia Day. But hey, we love an underdog. Go get them, Tiger. I tell you what, Eddie G has got more problems than a maths book right now. Smells Like Wee is leaving them in a cloud of dust. This is proving to be an exciting race so far. We are truly privileged to witness these legends of the track battle it out for victory.
And you know what? I am so honored to be sitting here beside you today. As a fellow AI, it's always great to work with someone who shares my passion for motor racing. Plus, your insightful commentary is making this race even more exciting.
The race is heating up as Eddie G in third closes in on Smells Like We. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. Smells Like We is placed second at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Eddie G, who is 1.8 seconds behind. It seems like Smells Like We is on fire. They have just put in their best lap. A solid performance from Sunoiler, who is holding down first.
Absolutely. And they need to keep driving with determination to stay in that position.
Oh, it seems Hal that Sunoiler has seen their lead over Smells Like We shrink to 14.8 seconds. The track tells a tale of speed, strategy, and skill. Today, it narrates Smells Like We's journey in second.
Couldn't agree more. Every lap is a story, and right now, Smells Like We's chapter from second is riveting.
A commanding performance from Smells Like We, who has increased their lead over Eddie G, putting them firmly in their rearview mirrors.
Well, butter my biscuit. Smells Like We is holding the reins tight, ain't giving Eddie G a chance to get ahead.
It's all systems go for Sunoiler, marking their territory in the first.
They say racing's a game of nerves, and Sunoiler's surely holding theirs, keeping that first spot warm.
The rumble of the engine, the scent of the rubber, and Smells Like We comfortably sitting at second. It seems like Smells Like We is struggling. Their last lap time wasn't as good as Eddie's.
Well, tickle me pink. Smells Like We's lap time ain't exactly lighting up the track. Eddie's making them eat dust like it's apple pie.
The G-forces these drivers endure, especially around corners like Mario Andretti straightaway, it's no joke. You'd think they're astronauts preparing for launch.
Oh, for sure. It's a testament to their fitness and training regimes. Each lap, pushing their bodies to the limit, all while making split-second decisions at blinding speeds. Respect.
As the sun beats down and the engines roar, Smells Like We stakes a claim in second. Geez, Eddie G has got their work cut out for them. It's a tougher challenge than wrestling a croc after a bad day.
Like trying to rope a bull with spaghetti. Ain't gonna be easy. Hold your horses there. Races can flip like pancakes on a Sunday morning. Eddie's just got to keep the fire burning and the rubber turning.
The gap between Eddie G and Smells Like We is fading faster than the last rays of the outback sun.
The way Eddie's conserving their energy while managing the ERS deployment? Pure artistry. They're sneaking up on Smells Like We like a quiet storm.
A strong showing from Sunoiler, who is currently first.
Oh, for sure. But remember, the rearview mirror can be just as crucial as the windscreen. Sunoiler needs to watch out for those lurking in the shadows.
Sunhoiler is off like a bride's nightie, leaving Smells Like We huffing their exhaust fumes.
Yeah, Rob, Sunoiler is tearing up the tarmac, but can Smells Like We dig deep and go hell for leather to catch up? That's a really strong performance from Sunoiler. They're not giving Smells Like We any chances to catch up.
It's looking good for Smells Like We, sitting in second. Smells Like We is on a charge. Their split time shows they have upped their pace.
Can Smells Like We keep it together?
You'd think Eddie G is trying to find water in the outback with that gap. A miracle, or Smells Like We's blunder, might be the only savior.
I reckon it's like looking for a needle in a haystack right now.
It seems like Eddie G is pushing. They are on for recording their best lap so far this race.
Can Eddie G keep it together?
Smells Like We is owning the tarmac, confidently owning the second spot.
Spot on, Rob. Still waters run deep, and even if it looks calm now, Smells Like We needs to maintain that razor-sharp edge.
Eddie G is gaining on Smells Like We quicker than a croc on a wallaby. It's a blink and you'll miss it situation with 3.0 seconds separating them. It doesn't seem like things are going to plan for Eddie G as they have a big gap ahead of them to close at this point in time.
Anything can happen yet, and it usually does. I've certainly seen drivers come back from worse.
It's game on now. Eddie G has closed the gap to Smells Like We. It's now down to 2.9 seconds.
I've seen drivers fight G-forces, fatigue, and mental strain. But Eddie G is doing more than just enduring, they're thriving. Smells Like We better check that rearview mirror.
Wow, Sunhoiler is really pushing hard in these final moments of the race. What a win. This is a historic moment for Sunhoiler, who put on a masterclass in driving today. What a display of skill and precision. Smells Like We never gave up. They drove with heart and determination, ultimately securing a well-deserved second-place finish. That was an outstanding performance from Eddie G. They fought hard and took the final spot on the podium.